Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Will County Board meeting for June 18th, 2025. I'll call this meeting to order. Member Revis will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and a prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You can stay standing for the quick little prayer. We had a new pope get named recently, and he has many ties to Will County. So in the name of that, we're going to do a nice little Catholic prayer today. So name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly angel, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here, ever this day, be at my side, to light, to guard, to rule, to guide. Amen.
Thank you. At this time, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Williams, Dean Schlotman, Ogala, Pretzel, Butler, Newquist, Balich, Oxley, Brooks, Winfrey, Bullock, Freeman, Revis, Mitchell, Ortiz, Berkowitz, Hickey, Costa, Trainier, Van Dyne. 18.
With 18 members present, we have a quorum. Got to work on having like odd numbers when people can't make it. It helps me out. Yeah. No. I need a motion to place on file. There's certain, even when we leave, we have an even number when people have to miss. I need a motion to place on file the certificate of publication. Motion by Revis, seconded by Ortiz. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond, Williams, Ogala, Newquist, Balich, Oxley, Brooks, Winfrey, Bullock, Freeman, Revis, Mitchell, Ortiz, Berkowitz, Hickey, Costa, Trainier, Van Dyne, and Dean Schlotman. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Add Dean Schlotman to the roll. Would you like to vote on this one? 19?
19.
There we go. 19 in the affirmative. The motion carries. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Member Dean Schlotman. Okay. Dang it. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the May 15th board meeting. Motion by Winfrey, seconded by Hickey. Is there previous roll by Brooks? Seconded by Newquist. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the May 15th executive session. Motion by Trainier, seconded by Costa. Previous roll call by Freeman, seconded by Ogala. All in favor? Any opposed? The motion carries. Madam Clerk, will you please acknowledge the elected officials and media present?
We have County Executive Jennifer Bertino Tarrant and County Clerk Annette Parker. And from the media, we have Michelle Mullins with the Daily Southtown.
All right, thank you. We'll move on with no honorary resolutions or proclamations. We are going to move on to public comment. Do we have any public comments for agenda items? Agenda items only for public comment. Going once, going twice. All right. Very good. Moving on to old business, all resolutions and ordinances from the May 15th board meeting have been signed and returned. And we will move on. We have new business. Member Ortiz. I think you're on. Hold on, sorry, I put the wrong one on. There you go, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Executive. I am speaking today to issue a notice pursuant to Robert's Rule that a motion to rescind the special use permit for mining and quarrying with blasting and use of other explosives regarding Land Illinois 4 Inc. at the southeast corner of Essington Road and 127th Street, Bolingbrook, Illinois, case number ZC-24-066/S-24-072 will be put on the agenda in July for action and consideration by the board. Thank you.
Member Van Dan.
Thank you, Madam Executive. I knew this notice was coming, and I have two concerns that I wanted to address. One being that,
She's just making it, there's no, yeah, she's just making a notice. So we're not, he's just, yeah, there's no motion or made on the floor. Go ahead, sir, finish.
like I started to say, I appreciate Member Ortiz bringing this to my attention. However, I do have two concerns. One being that the attorney from Bolingbrook had reached out to a board member who is actually represented by the state's attorney, which is a concern. And number two, I believe that there was a litigation papers sent over to the county in a lawsuit yesterday. So I feel that this conversation should not take place in an open meeting, and it should take place during executive session. And I would appreciate the silence from the board on this issue.
Very good. So we're going to move on. We're going to move on. We've had a notice by Member Ortiz. Do you have a follow-up with that? No, we're not going to move on with this anymore. We have a lawsuit on this issue, so we can talk about it. You can respond when we go into executive session if you'd like to talk about this issue. All right? Thank you. We're moving on to land use and development. Member Newquist will take over.
Good morning,
for land.
everybody.
Yeah.
You guys are stuck with me today, sorry. Before we get started, though, I want to make a note that ZC-25-002 is not on this agenda. That item was originally postponed to the June meeting, but there was an issue and it will now be on the July agenda. So
Before you begin, we're going to add Mr. Butler to the rolls.
okay. All right, so I'd like to open the public hearing for all land use cases.
We have a motion to open the public hearing by Newquist, seconded by Revens. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond. Williams. Dean Schlotman. Ogala. Butler. Newquist.
Yes.
Balich. Oxley. Brooks. Winfrey.
Yes.
Bullock.
Yes.
Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey. Oh,
Yes. There's no comments right now. We're taking roll.
Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne.
20 members in the affirmative. We are now in public hearing. Please be advised, absolutely no new evidence or information will be allowed once this land use public hearing. Are there any individuals who wish to provide testimony or speak during public hearing? You can come up now. Anyone here to speak in public hearing? Once, twice, 3 times? Can I get a motion to close the public hearing? Or I'm sorry, motion by.
Motion to close public hearing.
Yeah, is there a second? Seconded by Mitchell. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond. Williams. Dean Schlotman. Ogala. Butler. Newquist.
Yes.
Balich. Oxley. Brooks. Winfrey.
Yes.
Bullock. Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne.
20 affirmative, the public hearing is now closed. Member Berkowitz, did you have a question? You can do that during public comment then, or you can do it during we put discussion. Hold on. Hold on a second. Let me get you on here. Sorry, I'm fluttering today. All right, here we go. There you go. Sorry.
I wanted to state that zoning case 25-002 is on the agenda. It is referenced in item number 1. It is in that zoning case. So it is on our agenda. So I don't know why we would push it off to July.
Where are you looking, Member Berkowitz?
Number 1, owner Terry Barton, owner of record, requesting M-25-002.
No, this is ZC-25-002 that will be on the July agenda.
That's a map amendment. This was a.
Map,
yeah,
oh, so they
different,
have
yep.
similar numbers? Okay,
Yep,
thank
they
you.
do.
Thank you. I wasn't aware of that exact numbers. Thank you.
Okay, back to you, Member, Chair Newquist.
Thank you. Okay, number 1, zoning case ZC-25-019, requesting M-25-002 map amendment from E1 to A1, Will Township, commonly known as 3307 West Indiana Avenue, Beecher, Illinois, County Board District 2, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Mitchell. Is there a discussion? County Board, okay. There's a previous roll call by Winfrey, seconded by Bailage. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Number 2, we're going to need 3 votes on this, by the way. Zoning case ZC-25-021, which is LG Ranch requesting S-25-009, a special use permit for rural events. Then S-25-010, a special use permit for ancillary liquor service in conjunction with allowed agritourism uses. And S-25-018, a special use permit for similar or compatible use for a rural retreat. And V-25-037, a variance for minimum lot frontage from 300 feet to 10 feet. This is in Joliet Township, commonly known as 2229 Maple Road, Joliet, Illinois, County Board District 6. I so move to, let's vote on the rural events. I'll make a motion for the S-25-009.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Winfrey. Any discussion? Just wait then. Yeah, we'll get, okay. Is it about any of these cases that we're talking about? Yeah. Hold on, let's finish this one. Okay, is it about this case? We'll get through this case and then okay, motion by Newquist, there's seconded by Winfrey. Is there we're voting previous by Ogala, seconded by Dean Schlottman. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Can you please hold, we have a procedural question by
Okay.
Mr.
Okay,
Revit.
Member Berkowitz just brought up 25-002, zoning case 25-002. We were said it wasn't on the agenda. It's number 3 on,
Nope, that's 0026 or 026.
look at number 3.
Okay, hold on, we don't need, this.
Yeah,
We're going to have him question. We'll let the chair respond, please. Thank you.
yeah. On XV, number 3, Land Use and Development Committee Resolutions, number 3, zone applicant for zoning case. Am I
Okay,
just misinterpreting something?
my apologies. That is to overturn the decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission. It's not the actual zoning case.
And so this will not be on the agenda this afternoon. We're going to make a motion
Yes,
to
the
remove that.
overturning the decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission will be on the agenda. But the actual zoning case, I believe this, number 3 was in regards to the, he wanted the larger, a variance on the larger
All right.
barn.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll have full discussion on that.
Yes,
I just,
correct.
I'm trying to figure out why we were just told it wasn't on here. I know it's nobody's fault. I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I'm just trying to get clarity.
Yeah, the actual zoning case itself is not on here.
Okay.
Okay, well, and while we move on till we get to that, can someone, are you clear or would you like
Yeah,
staff
I'm
to
clear
talk
now,
to?
'cause it
Okay.
was on the agenda,
Well,
just that we were told it wasn't, and I know there's a lot of information flying around, so.
All right,
Okay.
all right, move it, we're going to move
Next,
on here, go ahead.
Moving back to number 2, we need to vote on S-25-010, the special use permit for the liquor service, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Brooks. Is there previous roll call by the Hero Gala? Seconded by Winfrey, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And last, S-25-018, special use permit for the rural retreat, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist. Seconded by O'Gala. Is there a discussion item on this issue we're talking about? Yep. County Board Member Berkowitz.
I'm just wondering if rural retreat includes overnight activities because because that seems to be coming forward. And it doesn't say anywhere in here that there's overnight activities, but I just want to clarify, does this allow that to happen? And then what are our policies regarding that? Because that's a whole new level, I think, of service. So I think that would be a question for staff and the applicant.
Okay, we got your question. Thank you. Do you have a response? Would you like staff to come up here?
Well, I would like staff, but member Ogalla, in the packet, in the land use packet, it does specify overnight.
Hold on. Shh. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies, member Berkowitz.
Oh. So it does say that in the packet already?
Yes.
That it is overnight. There you go. All right, thank you.
But
What is
I
your question?
would like to know what are the policies for that type of a business model, an overnight, that's,
I believe
I
it's-
don't know how that could be zoned agriculture. I mean, we have hotels and they all have to, certain regulations and things like that. Having people stay overnight on your property, what are the bathroom accommodations like? I mean,
Yeah, and again, if you're
are we
looking at
just
like a
going to
building
start
code.
issuing permits for
Well,
this?
this is what you're voting on today. You are making this decision as a board member, whether or
Well,
not you
we
want
need to
it.
answer the question.
Okay. Is there anyone to give any guidelines to this right now? Is there any staff who here can speak to whether or not we have guidelines for overnight? I guess you're just looking on rural areas?
And Madam
Yeah.
Executive, this is all in the packet.
Okay, all right.
To the best of my knowledge.
All right. So can you just please give a brief summary? Thank you.
Certainly. Marguerite Kenny, Will County Land Use. So this particular request is requesting similar or compatible to a rural retreat. Rural retreats are actually permitted by right in the A1 district. They do allow for overnight accommodations. They would be required to meet building permit, site development regulations through the land use department as well as health department. So they would need to have, all the approvals for providing a sanitary system, having a well provided on site if they cannot get municipal services.
So Marguerite, that should all be in the conditions, and I'm scrolling through this. I'm trying to do it as quickly as I can. Do you have that? Do you have that in the conditions? Do you know?
I do
in this
believe
case?
part of the conditions are to comply with the health department regulations. But that would be also required as part of permitting. So they would not get a permit from the land use department for constructing these repurposed tequila barrels unless the health department is signing off approval on having a septic system, the well, and meeting health department guidelines.
And then also the health department will go forward with the evaluation and the permit for a well and septic.
As long as it meets the requirements, yes, they would issue those permits related to that.
All right, I just want to make sure that those things are done accurately. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion. We have a second. Any other discussion items? Member Oxley.
Marguerite, please. So did they present a plan for showers and bath facilities and stuff of this nature before this request?
You were on. You should drop it.
Sorry. So with the repurposed tequila barrels, they will actually have a full bathroom. I believe there's a shower and a restroom facility in the back. With the photos, they're actually hidden behind that mural wall, is what the applicant is intending to use so that each unit would have their own sanitary facility.
Yeah, you'll have to excuse me, I don't see these pictures, but that's probably my usage of this thing. So, page 23. So, yeah, how many people are they going to have accommodations for? Is there a limit?
I know the attorneys here, you can probably answer more specifically what the intention is, but from my understanding with the request, it was for like wedding parties or the small fundraisers just to offer, I think at most, maybe 20. But each unit would have potentially two bed, I think a full-size bed. But it really comes down to their operations and the health department regulations, building code requirements for occupancy for those units.
So are they going to put little houses there or I'm not clear on?
Yeah, I think the plans are repurposed tequila barrels are quite large. Some of the photos show you could probably fit 2 full-size beds and then have that bathroom. But it really comes down to how he's going to design inside. These really aren't for long-term accommodations. It really is for an overnight stay and have the experience of being in a rural environment on the property.
Thank you.
Member Butler.
Just a question, is it possible to request a business plan for these people that are, because we're having a problem with this rural, what do they call it?
Are you sure you're asking for a business, like whether or not they,
Well, one of the problems with this agro-tourism is that they have these parties and they're shooting guns off at night and we can't even get the sheriff to go in there. And that's happened at a couple places out in Crete. I think at least I can remember one place in Crete. And so we had a lot of people who were upset about it. And to my knowledge, it's still going on even though we approved it. So I just thought if we had some sort of business model that they were following or some plan that we could look at to make sure that, you know, it was something that we felt comfortable with, because once we give these things out, they're, you know.
I'm going to have Mary respond whether or not we can require a business plan, which seems more like a financial piece of it. Hold on, sorry, there you go.
So, I mean, a business plan to me is more of a financial, integrity of the site. If you start on page 7 of the staff report, they go through the review criteria for a special use permit. Those are the criteria that you are supposed to take into account when deciding whether or not to grant a special use. So number 1 is that the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the special use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public's health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare. And to the point that was previously discussed, that is dealt with by providing conditions that they comply with the county ordinances, with the health department ordinances, and the building requirements. The special use will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity for the purposes already permitted, nor substantially diminish or impair the property values within the neighborhood. Number 3, that the establishment of the special use will not impede the normal and orderly development and improvement of surrounding property for uses permitted in the district. Number 4, that adequate utilities, access roads, drainage, and other necessary facilities have been or are being provided. 5, that the adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress and egress so designed as to minimize traffic congestion in the public streets. 6, that the special use shall in all other respects conform to the applicable regulation of the district in which it is located, except as such regulations may in each instance be modified by the county board pursuant to the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission. So those are the criteria that you are supposed to consider when deciding whether or not to grant a special use permit.
So if any of those conditions are violated, then we could revoke that special use permit?
I would say if there's a pattern and practice of violating them, then you can we would have to take each individual case and consider it. Oftentimes, they already have vested property rights, and what needs to be done is there needs to be an enforcement of the condition, and whether that's an ordinance violation is issued, or whether or not the sheriff's office can issue a ticket or a citation, it's all fact specific.
Do we have any record of any special use permits being revoked?
I don't have any recollection of that happening.
So I guess
I would-
that's kind of where we're at, like throughout the approval of special use permits. The problem is if they don't do what you say. And many times, just if I may,
Yeah.
many times we find that there's no bite to our list of, things that they have to adhere to. So I just thought a little bit more thorough review before we approve it, such as an actual plan by the company to say, hey, here's what we're going to do. This is our business model, blah, 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 blah. It is a little more well thought out than somebody who just wants to get over all the hurdles and then, do whatever he wants, as many of them have done. That was my request. And is that something we cannot do? I mean, could we create a policy where we would want something like that? I mean, if we're not going to be able to control what happens afterwards, we should be more thorough about making the initial approval. That's what I'm asking.
Thank you. I think again, that would be something you would discuss in committee to have that conversation to make sure that you have the ability. But at this point, no, we cannot ask. I mean, we are now voting on this project right now. And if those are reasons that you feel like you can't vote on it, that is what, you're going to have to do. But at this time, we can't ask for anything additional outside of what is required. So we're going to move on. I had you, we have people who have their lights on. We're moving on with other folks who have questions. Member Mitchell, you had your light on, you turned it off. You still have questions? Okay.
I just want to call a question.
All right, there's a motion to call the question. Is there a second? Seconded by Revis. How many do we need? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
2/3. How many people?
Richmond,
Those present. So how many do we?
okay, Richmond, sorry. Williams, Dean Schlottman, O'Gala, Butler, Newquist, Balich, Oxley, Brooks, Winfrey, Bullock, Freeman, Revis, Mitchell, Ortiz, Berkowitz, Hickey, Costa, Trainier, Van Dyne. 20.
One in the front, we are calling the question. So we have a motion and a second. Would you like, Madam Clerk, please call the roll?
Richmond, Williams, Dean Schlottman, O'Gala, Butler, Newquist, Balich, Oxley, Brooks, Winfrey, Bullock, Freeman, Mitchell, Revis, Mitchell, Ortiz, Berkowitz, Hickey, Costa, Trainier, Van Dyne.
20 in the affirmative, the motion carries. Chair Newquist.
Okay, thank you. Number 3, and this will require 2 votes, zoning case ZC-25-026, requesting an M-25-003 map amendment from A1 R2 to I2 and S-25-015, a special use permit for a truck terminal. This is in Moni Township, commonly known as vacant West Moni Manhattan Road, Moni, Illinois, County Board District 3, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Winfrey. We're voting first on the map amendment from
correct.
A1
Sorry about
R2
that.
to I2. So a motion by Newquist, seconded by Winfrey. Any discussion? Previous roll call by, all right. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond, Williams, Dean Schlattman, O'Gala, Butler, Newquist,
Yes.
Balich, Oxley, Brooks, Winfrey, Bullock, Freeman, Revis, Mitchell, Ortiz, Berkowitz, Hickey, Costa, Trainier, Van Dyne.
Yes. Chair Newquist, the second.
Okay, thank you. Motion.
I'm sorry, the motion passes 11 to 10. Thank you.
Okay, now the second vote is on the special use permit for the truck terminal.
Hold
And
on. Can you hold on a second? We're just
Yep.
verifying. Yes. Motion passes 11, no. So the motion, we're going to remove my vote. The motion carries with 11 to 9 in favor. Now, ma'am.
Okay, we good?
Yes.
Okay, now the second vote is for the special use permit for a truck terminal, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Winfrey. Previous roll call by Butler.
Actually, can we do a roll call
Oh,
on this?
yep.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond. Did you say no? I'm sorry. Okay, Williams. Dean Schlattman. O'Gala. Butler. Newquist,
No.
Balich. Oxley. Brooks. Winfrey. Bullock. Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne. Eleven yes, or 11 no. Mhm.
With 11 in the negative, the motion fails.
Okay, number 4, zoning case ZC-25-025, which is requesting S-25-012, a special use permit for a truck terminal, New Lenox Township, commonly known as 16720 Haven Avenue, Joliet, Illinois, County Board District 2, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Winfrey. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond. Williams. Dean Schlattman. O'Gala. Pretzel, I'm sorry, Butler, Newquist,
Yes.
Balich, Oxley, Brooks. Winfrey. Bullock. Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Did she answer? No. Hickey. Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne. Yes.
11 in the affirmative, the motion carries.
Okay, number 5, zoning case ZC-25-032, requesting a special use permit for a bar, case number S-25-016, commonly known as 7905 West Lincoln Highway, Frankfort, Illinois, County Board District 3, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Revis. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond.
We're on number 5.
Yes. Williams. Dean Schlottman. O'Gala. Butler. Newquist.
Yes.
Balich. Oxley. Brooks. Winfrey. Bullock. Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne.
20 in the affirmative, the motion carries.
Number 6, zoning case ZC-25-012, requesting S-25-005, a special use permit for a bar in Frankfort Township, commonly known as 19816 South Harlem Avenue, Frankfort, Illinois, County Board District Number 4, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Hickey. Any discussion? Previous roll call by Van Dyne, seconded by Brooks. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to Land Use and Development Committee resolutions. Number 1, amending sections 155-10-10.10, accessory uses, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Mitchell. Any discussion? Previous roll call by O'Gala, seconded by Van Dyne. All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries.
Number 2, 25-155, a scrivener's error, correcting the error in section 155-9.180 of the Will County zoning ordinance, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Winfrey. Previous roll call by Brooks, seconded by Hickey. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Number 3, and this is where the previous discussed case comes in, overturning the decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission and approving the appeal number APCD-25-001 by Hernando Torres, applicant for zoning case number ZC-25-002 in Crete Township, commonly known as 24948 State Line Road, Crete, Illinois, County Board District 3. And I so move.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Mitchell. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call, just so we know, we do need a supermajority. We need 17 votes for this to pass. Sorry, discussion, County Board Member Bullock.
Could we get clarification as to what we are, I know we're overturning a rezoning decision. Can you be specific about, is this the barn size? Is this the variant? What is this?
Member Newquist, can you?
Yes,
Okay.
it's my understanding, and if staff needs to clarify this, please do. It's my understanding that this is for the barn size. But
That's it.
could I
That
ask
is
staff to
that is- they are
confirm
they're
that?
nodding yes. You're accurate.
Okay, great, thank you.
Is there a change to the barn size?
No, it's my understanding, based on the original application and what I'm seeing in the resolution itself, that the original size of the request still stands. But if staff could confirm that as well, it would be appreciated.
Thanks.
Marguerite Kenny, Will County Land Use. Yes, you are correct, Member Newquist. The request is to allow them to construct a barn so that they can house the animals on the property.
So do you have a follow-up question? Oh, we're gonna get, we press it, but we're gonna, please press your buttons.
Anything related to the size of the barn? Has that changed?
It has not from what is in the staff report and the memo.
Member Butler?
So it's my understanding that this barn is to accommodate the animals, but also to accommodate the hay so that he can get it at a good price and have enough hay for the whole year. If you were to check the surrounding properties, you would see that his barn is much smaller than even the other barns that, you know, had received variances in the past. So it's not a big ask.
Thank you. Member Berkowitz?
Yes, so I had a question. Is this barn also to store the hay? Because I don't see a structure. And you have to store your hay. You don't want it to get wet. It does say that the maximum size is over 1,000, but the barn that they want to build is over 5,000 square feet. So that's quite a change in the variance.
Member,
Does-
Marguerite,
yeah.
can you come up to, I don't know if you're gonna able to answer. I know you did. You did just, yeah, that was just asked and answered, but we will have, as Kenny said again, I'm going down. I'll come back to you.
Hi, Marguerite Kenny, Will County Land Use again. So what they are proposing is a 4,200, I believe, 53 square foot barn on the property.
All right, Member Trenier? Oh, no. Okay, Member Butler?
So the barn will both contain the animals and the hay. And that's the minimum size he needs to supply enough hay for a year and to house the animals. And the reason it went over is because he still has a garage, which is 800. So they count that against it. But the barn itself is not really that big for that property.
Thank you. We see no more discussion. Madam Clerk, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. because your button isn't lighting up on for me here. Yeah, I don't know why. I know it happened. Is it not, can you, is your button, is it lighting up for you there? All right, I don't see anything. We'll have to look at
Yeah.
that. Can you, let's see if you're on now.
Typical.
Yeah, just you, Dave.
Marguerite, did
Yeah.
you do a subtraction of the animal usage or so many square feet for an animal, which subtracts from the barn? So what, do you know the calculation you have for that?
So in terms of the accessory building area, we don't differentiate in terms of animals or personal storage area in the barn or any garages. So basically with the property being zoned R1, it counts attached garages, detached garages, garden sheds, animal confinement structures, or part of that. They're all in that same calculation.
So the key issue is here, it's zoned R1, not ag.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Member Costa?
I have a clarifying question. So we are voting on the overturning of the
Yes.
decision to deny by PZC?
Yes, yeah, and I repeat, you're gonna, when we take our vote, you are overturning the denial.
Okay, so a no vote is in support, am I getting this right? No. Of PZC.
If you vote yes, you are confirming that you want the vote to be overridden. If you vote no, you are sticking with PZC.
Thank you.
Is everyone clear with that? Okay, I don't see any more discussion. Oh, do you have additional comment, Member Newquist, or just on for, okay. I don't see anyone else. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Butler? Yes. Newquist? Balich?
Yes.
Oxley?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Winfrey? Bullock? Freeman? Revis? Mitchell? Ortiz? Berkowitz? Hickey? Costa? Trainier? Van Dyne?
Yes.
With 15 members in the affirmative, the motion fails because we needed 17. We needed 17.
Overturning the decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission and approving appeal number APCD-25-003 by Peter Kurzanowski, with apologies for butchering his name, applicant for zoning case number ZC-25-023 in Lockport Township, commonly known as 328 Del Park Avenue, Lockport, Illinois, County Board District Number 5, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Oxley. This also is, you need with 17 to overturn the denial.
And I would like to staff to kind of fill us in on the issues here, if that's possible.
Do we have a motion? We have a motion in a second, right? To be moved. What's your question, please?
I just want to understand a little bit more about why the request was denied, if that's possible.
Marguerite Kenny, Will County Land Use again. With this request, the neighbor on the eastern property line did come out voicing concerns about construction on site potentially coming onto his property and causing property damage. However, in terms of building and all that, they would be showing all those plans that get approved by the county. They would not be allowed to go across the neighbor's property unless the neighbor granted that access. But this property is, I believe, about 40 feet in width. So he has limitations in terms of fitting the property. He is proposing the driveway on the other side of the property, so it does push the house towards that eastern property line.
Okay, thank you.
Remember, I wouldn't leave, Marguerite. I don't think.
Don't leave.
Member Oxley.
Yes, this is in my district, and I have talked with the person, and he has a lot that was created back in the 30s and 40s. It's a 40-foot lot. There's the hardship with meeting all the current setbacks. The property to the east of it is in very much disrepair. It's terrible. I don't know how it hasn't been cleaned up. One of the neighbors' comments, I understand, was that he's going to bother the septic system. Well, they're on sewer and water there. There's no septic systems there. The way he's situating it on the lot, it would not prove any hardship on the neighbors. There's plenty of room between the houses. He's putting a driveway over there. I have no issue with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Berkowitz.
Yes, Marguerite, this states that the house will be 3 feet away from the property line. Do we allow that often? I mean, that's really close.
Yeah, in terms of what the applicant is requesting, normally in this zoning district, it's zoned R4. It would be 10 feet from both side property lines, but given the lot being 40 feet in width, trying to do 10 feet, it would require a width of a house being 30 feet. His plans are to be a little bit larger than that and to also situate it closer to that eastern property line. Again, in terms of meeting the appropriate building codes, our stormwater ordinances, there should not be an impact being that close to the property. That's part of the plans. But in terms of if there's any concern for fire or anything like that, that's why there's a variance process for them to come forward and request a variance to be closer than 10 feet.
So where are they putting the driveway? Is it right next to the property line then, going all along the side of, so the neighbors will have a driveway right on the property line?
So it's my belief they are proposing their driveway to be along the western property line.
And
And
there
to go
isn't a
back.
neighbor on the western side?
I believe there is, but the driveway will be completely on this applicant's property.
So I don't see a plat on here of the actual project, which would be helpful, you know, to see where, if it's in here, I'm not finding it. So the house is going to be 3 feet away. Is there a fence there?
I believe there's an existing fence
I
on
see a
the
chain link
neighbor's
fence, but I don't
property.
know where it is in relation to the construction.
I believe the chain link fence is on the property line for the eastern property.
Okay, so that clearly will have to be maintained. Where are the meters going to be placed for gas and electric? Will they be right on the property line so the neighbor next door has to look at those meters? Or is it going to be maybe faced into the parcel?
That's going to come down to the building permit and how they
Okay.
design the house.
Okay, well, I think that 3 feet is not enough room if those meters wind up having to be placed on that wall. I just, I mean,
Yeah. All right. Any other questions?
that is not
No, I'm asking,
something we
okay,
can, yeah.
that's what you get to vote on. You
But-
get to vote no if you don't like this. That's what, I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
So,
So it-
so that isn't our concern. Whatever happens, happens. And you think 3 feet is sufficient for the construction and placement of meters on that side of the project?
I mean, in terms of the property, within 3 feet, there is going to be a roof overhang based on the house as well. So that probably would be covering any meters that's usually attached to the house or very close to the house. But it really does come down to how it's designed and where those meters are going.
Mr. Butler, you haven't spoken on this one yet, have you? Mr. Butler.
How close is the nearest structure to that property line
Next.
on the neighbor side?
I believe the house on the eastern side is 10 feet, meeting
And
setbacks.
is it like pretty much lined up, same setbacks from the street?
I believe this residence will be actually closer to the street than the neighboring property.
I think we're done. All right. Mr. Balich.
Motion to call the question.
Motion to call the question by Balich, seconded by Revis. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond. Williams. Dean Schlottman. O'Gala. Butler. Newquist.
Yes.
Balich.
Yes.
Oxley.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Winfrey.
Yes.
Bullock. Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz.
Call the question.
Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne.
Eight's in the affirmative. We are going to call the question. Madam Clerk, now remember, this is, again, to overturn the decision of the Planning and Zoning Commission. A yes vote means you are in agreement, you would like to overturn the decision. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond. Williams. What? Yes. Dean Schlottman. O'Gala. Butler. Newquist.
Yes.
Balich.
Yes.
Oxley. Brooks.
Yeah.
Winfrey. Bullock. Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne.
Yes.
All right, a reminder, we needed 17. We have 16 in the affirmative. The motion Fails to overturn, sorry.
Number 5, 25-158, first extension, SCXT-25-005 of zoning case ZC-23-012, Calvert Energy LLC, vacant property on Utility Amico Road in Shanahan Township, County Board District Number 1, and I so move. Second.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Winfrey. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond. Williams. Dean Schlattman. O'Gala. Butler. Newquist.
Yes.
Yalich. Yes. Oxley. Brooks.
Yeah.
Winfrey.
Yes.
Bullock.
Yes.
Freeman. Revis. Revis.
Yes.
Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey.
Yes.
Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne.
15 in the affirmative, the motion carries.
Number 6, 25-159, first extension for zoning case ZC-23-018, Sean Matthias Family Partnership in Homer Township, 17958 South Cedar Road, Homer Glen, Illinois, County Board District Number 4, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Winfrey. Would we like to do previous roll on this one? Or no, Madam Clerk, or any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond. Williams. Dean Schlattman. O'Gala. Butler. Newquist.
Yes.
Balich. Oxley. Brooks.
Yeah.
Winfrey.
Yes.
Bullock.
Yes.
Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey.
Yes.
Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne.
Yes.
20 in the affirmative, the motion carries.
Number 7, 25-160, first extension for zoning case ZC-23-006, a special use permit for a commercial solar energy facility with 6 conditions. Cottage Grove Solar, commonly known as northwest corner of West Munns Road and South Cottage Grove Avenue in Crete, Illinois, County Board District Number 3, and I so move. Second.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Winfrey. Any discussion? Member O'Gala.
Thank you. So I just wanted to mention that at the time that this was approved, the company wanted to do solar battery storage. People in the area weren't really fond of that, but they're not doing that anymore. So it's just going to be a solar facility. So I think that's a good positive. Thanks.
Thank you. No more discussion. Madam, do we have a clean roll call? Do we want to take a roll call? Is there a motion to, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond. Williams. Dean Schlattman. O'Gala. Butler. Newquist.
No.
Balich. Oxley. Brooks. Winfrey.
Yes.
Bullock.
Yes.
Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne.
19 in the affirmative, the motion carries.
Number 8, 25-161, the first extension for zoning case ZC-23-036, Adam Beal, Peatone Township, commonly known as vacant property on Route 45, Peatone, Illinois, County Board District 2, and I so move. Second.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Winfrey. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond. Williams. Dean Schlattman. O'Gala. Butler. Newquist.
Yes.
Balich. Oxley. Brooks. Winfrey. Bullock. Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne.
20 in the affirmative, the motion carries.
Number 9, 25-162, historical landmark. I do have a question. I was told last night that this might be pulled from the agenda.
Oh.
Does anybody have any information?
Why don't you read it? We'll get that. Why don't you read the motion that
Okay.
we don't have any?
This is a historical landmark designation for St. Paul's Evangelical and Reformed Church, St. Paul's United Church of Christ in Monee Township, 5323 West Margaret Street, Monee, Illinois, County Board District Number 3, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, second by Butler. I'm assuming that this is not being removed. Nope, it is not. So any discussion on this item? Member Ogala.
Thank you. So Monee is my hometown, and this is really quite exciting for us to get this St. Paul's Church as a historical landmark. If you ever have the opportunity to go out to Monee, you'll find that if you walk in the church, it's very welcoming the way it's designed. It has beautiful stained glass windows. All the old pews are in place, yet they have completely kept this place updated, and it's completely air conditioned, and the downstairs and the basement is used for many things, community events. So this is very exciting for the village of Monee.
Seeing no more comments, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond. Williams. Ainge-Lottman. Ogala. Butler. Newquist.
Yes.
Balich. Oxley. Brooks. Winfrey. Bullock. Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne.
20 in the affirmative, the motion carries.
Our next Land Use and Development Committee meeting is scheduled for July 3rd, 2025.
Thank you. Moving on to, you can just stay with you, Chair Newquist, for the Finance Committee.
Okay, for finance, we have a consent agenda, and I'll read off the items. 25-163, transferring appropriations within various county budgets. 25-164, appropriating funds in the coroner's budget. 25-165, declaring vehicles as surplus and authorizing disposal. 25-166, transfer of funds for the CHC. 25-167, appropriating grant funds in the Health Department budget, and I so move.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Mitchell. Is there a previous roll call by Winfrey, seconded by Freeman? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
We also have a number of monthly financial reports that were placed on file. Do we need them? I always have to ask. I move to place those on file.
Motion by Newquist, seconded by Hickey. Previous roll call by Ogala, seconded by Freeman. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
And our next finance committee is scheduled for July 1st, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to Public Works and Transportation, Chair Tranier.
Good morning, everyone. We have all of our items are on the consent agenda, however, except for the second one, the last one, I should say. But item number 1 on the consent agenda, I would like to make a motion to remove that. That is accepting a donation in lieu of improvements from proposed development along Laraway Road. It's my understanding we don't need to vote on this at the full county board. So I'd like to make a motion to remove it.
Motion to remove by Tranier, seconded by Ogala. Previous roll call by Van Dyne, seconded by Mitchell. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
And then I'd like to get on with the consent agenda items, and I'll just read each one. Item 25-168, confirming award of contract to Gallagher Asphalt.
Take a minute, I'm sorry. So we
I was told I needed to read them. I can make the motion first. I don't care. I normally read everything and then make the motion. Is that different for the
No,
consent?
I don't remember this.
No, that's okay.
Yep.
That's
That is-
quite all right. I haven't been a chair that many times in 17 years. Okay, number 25-168, confirming award of contract to Gallagher Asphalt Corporation for resurfacing in County Board District 2. Number 25-169, confirming award of contract to Deconstruction for resurfacing various roadways in County Board District 7. Number 25-170, authorizing approval of professional service agreement for construction engineering services over the BNSF Railroad grade separation in County Board District 1. 25-171, authorizing an agreement between the County of Will and Northern Illinois Gas Company, reimbursement for relocating facilities, Spencer Road, County Board District 2. Number 25-172, authorizing approval of supplemental professional services agreement with Burns and McDonnell on River Road for Wilmington Peatone Road in County Board Districts 1 and 2. Number 25-173, authorizing approval of the establishment of an altered speed zone 698 along Offner Road within the Green Garden Township, County Board Districts 2 and 3. Number 25-174, authorizing approval of the establishment of an altered speed zone 699 along Shear Road within Manhattan Township Road District, County Board District 2 and 3. Number 25-175, authorizing the Will County State's Attorney's Office to proceed with condemnation cases regarding the county's improvements of Francis Road, and that is in County Board District 5. Number 25-176, granting access for ingress and egress for a solar farm on Manhattan Arsenal Road, County Board District 2, and I so move.
Second Freeman.
Motion by Trenier, seconded by Freeman. Previous roll call by Winfrey, seconded by Oxley. All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries.
And then number 2 on our agenda, 2025-177, adopting the Will County fiscal year 2026 through 2031 Transportation Improvement Program. And I so move.
Motion by Trenier, seconded by, motion by Trenier, seconded by Winfrey. Any discussion? Oh, hold on a second. Let me get you on. Hold on. I'll press, there we go.
I thought it was that.
Yeah.
All right. I want to remove 143rd Street from the plan because it's, right now it's in limbo land. So we need to remove it.
I don't know if it's in
So
limbo.
I'm going to make a motion to remove 143rd Street from the 2030 plan.
So I have a motion to amend by removing 143rd Street from the Transportation Improvement Plan. Is there a second? Second by Oxley. Discussion on the amendment, Member Trenier and then Member Van Dyne. But you're on still.
Yeah, this has been approved through your veto of the proposal, but that's fine. It's been approved. I know there was a lawsuit filed, but my understanding is the lawsuit was failed. It was dismissed. I'm not sure about this concept of limbo land. If somebody could enlighten us about that claim, I'm not aware of limbo land.
Well, maybe not.
I just think that's Mr. Ballard's term he's just using. Yes, I don't know. Yeah. Do you want to clarify what limbo land means, Mr. Ballard? Hold on, I turned you off
And one
again.
thing, the lawsuit was dismissed, but the state of Illinois, they said they want to have it settled between the county and the village and the people surrounding the village too. They, like Mr. Oxley's district, that's included. So Sherry and Mr. Oxley have a big say in it. Then we also have Raquel and Destiny. I think it's Destiny's district over there, right? You know, so we've got a lot of people on the county board that are involved with this. So it's not just 143rd Street for like 2 people. No, it's for a lot of people. And it's already been stalled for 6 months. So I want to remove it because we don't have a determination on it. And so why should we have it in the plan when we more than likely aren't going to have it anymore? Because there's going to be a settlement in my mind. So I'm just asking for a vote to remove it from the plan. That's not a big deal.
Thank you. To clarify, I'm going to just clarify too, we like that you're listening to Springfield, but it was just on, I'm quick, Steve. It was just on the quick take, and the quick take piece is not a determinant of whether or not, that's just a process. The vote is still going forward. There's just different processes in regards to working, condemnation is what I believe is. So again, it doesn't, that does not in any way, shape or form stop the project, just to be clear. But
And I haven't seen any order to negotiate or anything like that. If there's such an order out there, I would love to see it. I'd welcome seeing it. We do have a new board. I think we have some new members since that last vote took place. I guess this will be the new vote.
Yeah. Okay. So we have we're talking on the amendment. Member Oxley.
Yes, one of the issues is the long-range plan is you have to, for funding, you have to submit several years in advance. So now that this has come up, part of this is in Homer Township, part of it's in Homer Glen. Jennifer and staff have met with the mayor of Homer Glen. They don't like it. I particularly don't like it. But it's my district. The other members that are close, it's about a 3.5 mile area. It's going to take up a lot of property. You're going to have houses that are 10 feet from the 4-lane highway, stuff of this nature. You've got a golf course that takes up, I misspoke, there was 121 trees originally taken out. There's 85. Our ordinance alone says we got to put 3 times the trees back. That's 50 trees. And plus the golf course is going to be shortened up by 3 holes, which run parallel to 143rd Street. And I believe, and I don't know this for a fact, I haven't read it, I've been told that originally when this was done, it said if 159th Street is not widened, this would be the next process. Well, 159th Street has been widened all the way to Orland Park. So are we reading the whole thing or not? And then, like I said, I don't know that that's a fact. I've been told that. But
Yeah, I respect what you're saying because sometimes we get told a lot of stuff and we don't
well,
know.
you have
Yeah.
to know what you're doing, and
I know. And
That's
I believe there's been some conversation with the golf course and we are not taking any of their holes, but I would request that
well,
somebody
you're
come
not
down.
taking, if the plan I saw, you're not taking any of the holes, you're shortening their distance on their side.
Again, I
The
would
holes will still
request that
remain. They just have
someone
to
from the
move.
highway department.
We're not going to go back and forth here. So I appreciate as the chair, you're trying to respond to them, but yeah. I don't think you have a question there. You just made a comment. I'm assuming.
Comment, yes,
Okay.
Jennifer, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you much.
Speaker Van Dyne.
Thank you. In order to, my concern for, and especially for the folks that are fiscally responsible, I'm afraid to take this out of the plan for the simple fact that the county has already invested over $6 million in design on the project. And also we risk the chance of losing $7 million from CMAP, which will also in turn probably cost us thousands and thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars in the near future, because the county will show that they are not committed to projects once they vote on it. And I believe it has been voted and passed. So I would be very careful on removing this from our plan. Thank you.
I'm going to, anyone else who is new, I will go back to repeat. All right. We're going to start with you, Mr. Balich, and then Mr. Oxley.
Okay. Orland Park, the new mayor doesn't want the road. Pico, the old mayor, wanted it. The new mayor says it'll destroy his town. Okay, so that's another problem. So going forward, okay, the mayor of Orland Park said no. Then Mr. Oxley said some stuff about how close it is to the road. Well, we have a school, we actually 3 schools that are going to have to be moved back. So one of the schools just built an addition, and that addition is going to have to be removed. So that's going to be very costly, and it's going to be a pain in the neck for the kids that go there. And then the study was the $6 million everybody's talking about was a federal study. So the study doesn't, it's not, we didn't lose no money yet. So, I'm just saying that removing this from the agenda, from the plan, and I don't like the word plan either, but that's a different issue. Because if we vote for this thing, then everybody in this room is going to be held responsible for what's going to happen in their district. And there's, like I said, I think it's 6 county board members that brought up to this thing. So everybody's involved, Republicans, Democrats. It's not a political issue. It's a people issue. And so if there's going to be a 6-month stall and hopefully we come up with a solution, why on earth we want to leave it in the plan? Just remove it from the plan. It's very simple. So that's all I asked for. And we got a second. And so I hope that we can vote on this thing and end it. For God's sake, we can't keep going on this. I don't want to keep talking.
Right. Thank you. We're going to go, Member Freeman.
I just wanted to call a question.
Okay. We have a motion to call the question. Is there a second? First off, we are voting to call the question right now. Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
Richmond. Williams. Dean Schlottman. Ogala. Butler. Newquist. Balich. Oxley. Brooks. Winfrey. Bullock. Freeman. Brevis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa. Trinier. Van Dyne. 11 yes.
11 in the affirmative. We move to call the question. So now we have a motion by Mr. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, my apologies. Although we have majority, it failed because we need 14 votes. So we will continue with our discussion. We had Member Revis, and I will go back to you, Mr. Oxley, then. I'm trying to get first timers first. They press after I say that.
Thank you, Madam Executive. So we had a pretty robust discussion in committee. I thought we made a amendment to this that we would be including a little line at the bottom, something to the effect of, I know we're not talking about it now, but we're talking about that plan, right?
We're talking about the amendment.
Well, there's a motion and
We have a motion and second to just remove the plan right now.
okay.
Remove the, I'm sorry, 143rd Street from the plan.
Okay, so I would need to wait until we get
We had
back to
larger
the original
discussion.
item.
Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
I'm going to wait till we get back to the original.
Thank you. Mr. Oxley.
Bit confusing here, but I don't know when this plan was started, but since then, Reed School has done an addition, a complete revamp of their bus ramps, the whole front of their building. That would take half of that out. I mean, there's a lot of things that have changed since this plan started. That's something we need to be cognizant about. And again, everybody I've talked to is against it. They don't want it. I don't want to see the property taken for right-of-ways and houses are 10 feet from it, fences are 2 feet from it. I mean, it would look ridiculous. It would ruin a rural area. Thank you.
And I'm just going to say, I want to be cautious about what we say that it's opinion and fact, because I know people have preferences, but we're not taking people's homes on this project at all. Okay, I just want people to I want to understand. Yeah. So we need to be cautious because again, there's accurate information and not accurate information. And if you really do have a question, concern, I highly encourage you to please talk to Jeff or Mr. Ronaldson. Member Ogala.
Thank you. For the new members here, they weren't here before when we had all the conversation. We had hundreds of people come before the board and speak against this, that they do not want this area that is mostly rural. The study showed that in 2040, there'd be 60,000 people living in Homer. It's currently 24,500 people. That hasn't happened. The study also showed that this would be a commercial corridor. It is a residential area, as well as there are many farms along this road. Changing this road from 2 lanes to 5 lanes is going to completely change the whole quality of life for the residents that live out there. What was wanted was to go to just 3 lanes and put in turning lanes and intersection improvements, things like that. That's what the village supported. That's what the people supported. So I think that we really should have a new conversation about this. This should be considered. Studies get done all the time by federal grants to determine whether something should or shouldn't be done. I sat in these meetings. I heard Jeff Ronaldson say that we did do this study. Our plan to do 143rd Street was done just in case the state did not widen 159th. State did widen 159th. We never went back and looked at our plan and said, do we still need to make 143rd Street 5 lanes? We should have done that. We should have done that for the residents since 159th was expanded. We didn't do that. And as a Public Works and Transportation Committee, I think members of that committee should ask questions more about what's going on, why we're doing a road project, and if something else is going to be done instead. So I think that we need to have another conversation for this, allow the people to hear the whole story from Jeff Ronaldson, and as well as give the people from the community the opportunity to speak again. Thank you.
Member Freeman.
Thank you. So I do remember this conversation. I remember all of this conversation. And one of the things that I remember is that the decision to widen this road was based on the number of vehicles that run up and down this road, and it still meets that threshold. It is also a safety issue, and I have actually driven it more than once at this point in my life, and it is a safety issue. And by widening it would be safer for the residents on that road. So I will not be in favor of pulling this off the plan. Thank you.
Member Van Dyne, or Speaker Van Dyne.
Thank you. I just, maybe just try to clarify some of the comments or one comment. I do believe that the IDOT did do a study recently on 143rd after 159th Street was complete. And also the county did their own study. And those studies show that the traffic count on 143rd is 3,000 vehicles per day more than what warrants for a 5-lane system. So I just wanted to clarify that. And I will be making some further comments after this vote. Thank you.
Member Butler.
Yeah, I would like a clarification on that because the way I remembered it was a little different. I remembered that the predicted traffic was higher than the actual traffic on a later study.
I'm going to get, Mr. Ronaldson, do you mind coming up here? And maybe you can address some of the, and we're just, I guess this is appropriate. I mean, okay, because we're, I'm making sure we're not getting off track. So yeah, if you'd like to first answer Mr. Butler's question, anything else, that you have heard that you want to clarify, please feel free.
Madam Executive, sure. County Board members, your question on ADT, I believe that's what you were asking about, traffic volumes, daily traffic volumes. Yeah, so not sure exactly what study or numbers you're referring to, but I can relay that since 159th Street was done, 2019 timeframe, that traffic volumes on the website for IDOT around 12,300 for 143rd Street. After 159th Street is done, 2023, another count was taken. It's 15,300. So there's a 3,000 vehicle increase since 159th Street was done. So whether 159th Street is done or not is not the driving factor for 143rd. Our projections were based on what traffic would come to 143rd. So 159, 2 miles away, is not directly impact. Now, it's a regional road, so there is some impact, but there were still projections on what we would see on 143rd. So even though Homer Glen is staying at the same population, and you can see that in the census data, it is the same number. I don't know the exact number, but it's the same. 143rd Street is still increasing. So there is a regional growth, and that's why we're looking to improve the regional arterial roadway. Other comments necessary, like for the schools that we're impacting, where there's only one school on the road we're looking at, and that is Reed School. There's a school over closer to Bell Road we're not impacting with this particular project. The Bobby Noonan Daycare Center has actually already settled. There's no issue there. The Reed School, we are not impacting their U-shaped driveway in front. We are, of course, impacting their driveways at the very front, coming in and out. But the circular driveway, we are not impacting there. There are a few other comments with the golf course. In the end game, we are hitting one sand trap. We're going to impact temporarily. A tee box, we're going to impact temporarily. So in the end, we are going to negotiate those impacts with the golf course, of course, and work that out. But in the end, the golf course will remain, in our opinion, whole. If there are other comments, I believe there's probably some other comments. So those are like the big ones I've heard that I want to get the facts out that are not quite factual. So if there's other questions, I'll defer back to the chair.
I'm hitting them by the order of how people are pressing their buttons, so please be patient as I connect numbers to people. Mr. Revis, you still have your on. You have questions regarding this now, the amendment? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I was originally discussing about our conversation in committee about adding a line to the bottom about this is just a plan, an aspirational. I forget exactly what we determined what we were going to put there in committee, but I need confirmation if we did we make that change?
Member, yeah, and I think we did, Speaker Van Dyne can.
I can address that for you, Mr. Revis. Mr. Balich had asked me if that would be a possibility to put on an agenda. I said absolutely. That topic will be on next month's Transportation Committee, and the committee can decide what verbiage they want and whether they want to pass it or not. And Mr. Balich was very okay with that solution.
Oh, okay.
And you'll be
great.
chairing that meeting. Thank you.
Good to know. Thank you.
If I may just add real quickly, we did change the column heading. It's estimated cost. So it's not just amount, it's estimated.
And that's on this.
That is on the new one.
Okay. So I guess the reason I bring this up after I wasn't going to talk about wait for the full discussion is because that matters for what Member Balich's main concern is. He, from what it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't want something that is just a estimation or, aspiration plan that we're going to strive towards to be something that he has a vote, follow him, and it's, Steve Balich voted for this X amount of times. Meanwhile, he was just voting for the plan. And I think that's a good change for all of us. So for me personally, I don't know if I can support the motion on the floor right now to remove the 143rd Street project entirely, but I do support, something that provides a little bit of coverage on this very detailed plan that many things change frequently on. So, that's just my 2 thoughts on it. Thank you.
Member Richmond?
143rd Street is in my district and Steve's district. I've driven it. I mean, it's just another 2-lane road that's in the county with a few more houses around it. But I think what we're looking at, we're looking at the traffic count, we're looking at that the numbers are up. The population hasn't changed, but I think what has happened is the fact that parents are more driving their kids to school or driving them to events. This is just local traffic. This isn't, people cutting through or that. I think the minute that we open it up, we are going to open it up to more people cutting through, which in turn is going to help the people cutting through, but that does not help anyone that lives in Homer Glen. I think what it's going to do is have a significant impact on their lifestyle and their way of life, and the things that they value most is their country atmosphere. So I'm not for this. I'll be a no on moving this forward the way it is. Thank you.
Member Bullock?
Hi. Could you please explain the ramifications? So let's say we vote 143rd out of the plan. what then happens to that stretch of road? Who then is in charge of that stretch of road? Who's responsible for it? Accidents happen. Like what is the ramification of taking that vote?
The roadway will remain a county highway regardless of what you're going to be doing with the plan. It's still a county highway. That's our responsibility. The Homer Glen Police Department, actually the Sheriff's Department, will enforce the rules out there, so they'll respond to safety issues. If it's removed from the plan, I don't know what that exactly means because we still have the active contract in hand, so I don't know what that necessarily means. I would have to have a discussion with the State's Attorney's Office what that means. I mean, it is a plan, but we do have an active contract. But the road does remain ours at this time, unless it's changed.
I know it, sorry. Is there the opportunity for Homer Glen to annex that part of the road and call it theirs and decide to do what they would like to do with it?
Yeah, the annexation doesn't have any bearing on whether it's a county highway or not. It does on a township road. It automatically becomes by state law a municipal street. It would take a jurisdictional transfer agreement, so an agreement between the village, the county, and the state of Illinois to transfer jurisdiction of one of our roads to a municipality.
Member Hickey?
Hi, thank you, County Executive. Mr. Ronaldson, isn't the plan kind of how we share the information with the public at large?
Correct. We share
Okay.
with the public and our municipal and state partners.
Okay, so if we were to take something out of there and yet still be working on it, I mean, wouldn't that be a matter of transparency that we would be reducing transparency to our taxpayers?
I'm not sure I have an answer for that. I don't know.
Okay, I think it would. I think for, the people that do look at this stuff, they're hoping that it is an exhaustive list of what we're doing. And I'm listening to this discussion and I really appreciate that there are, high emotions and high feelings around 143rd Street. But the fact of the matter is it is in the plan. And things change, and if we don't put it down on paper, I think that we're not doing the service to the public that we serve. So thank you very much.
We're going to back to you, Mr. Balich.
Yeah, I got to clarify some things here. The first thing that everyone needs to realize is that if this road goes through, we're creating a hardship for everybody that lives on 143rd Street, but also the three schools, not one school, three schools. Okay, you got Reed School, which is just been remodeled and expanded, and that school will have to be taken down and removed back. Yeah, they will, because the road will be too close to the school. And then you got Hadley, which is another school, and the Homer Glen portion. And that school, they were trying to sell their property because they said that the road would be 10 feet from their school and it would be dangerous for their kids. Then you have Bobby Newman Preschool, which has been there for God knows how many years. And that school will end up having it in their backyard also. So when you look at this stuff, okay, you're creating a hardship, number one. And then my advice for everybody that lives there is to sue the pants off of the road district and the county for a hardship. Because we've been told that if you have an extreme hardship, that's something that qualifies that you can't do it. Remember, we had that meeting with the state's attorney, not everybody was here, but the state's attorney said you have to listen to a public hearing, and if there's a hardship, well, every single person can call that a hardship. So Orland Park does not want this for the same reasons Homer Glen don't want it. And I guarantee you that this is going to be an ongoing problem until it's settled, and it won't be settled probably in the next month, but we got 6 months, and then it's going to be settled. One way or the other, it'll be settled, because our county executive is going to make sure that we have some talks and we come up with a solution. And I trust that she'll do a good job. Like how you throw it in your lap. But, but anyway, I think that removing it from the plan right now doesn't do any harm at all, except protecting people that are surrounding that district from voting on a plan that they're going to be accused of voting for the project on going forward. And that, again, that's a lot of people. There's 6 of us that are all involved with that. And the greater part of that road is not in the city of Homer Glen. So you always refer to Homer Glen. The greater part is in the township. 3.6 miles, if I'm not mistaken, is in the township. Our road commissioner, when I was a supervisor, took it and we actually, if we would have won the election, we were going to ask for a
All right,
jurisdictional
let's stay
transfer
focused
of
there.
that
Yeah.
road. And that would have made a big difference too, because the township could do that. So I know the number's 3.6 because that's what's in the document that we created, but we lost the election, so it didn't happen.
Can I have you wrap up, sir?
I'm wrapped
All
up
right.
now.
All right, thank you. We have Member Williams.
Thank you. If we don't if we fix the road and don't put something, don't we have to have a plan in order, no matter what we do to the road? Wouldn't we need to have some type of plan, even if it was a three lane?
If we want to build a 3-lane cross-section, we have to have it in the plan. I'm not sure.
Well,
We can
yeah, it was
leave it
mentioned-
alone,
it was
build something in
mentioned that
between, or build a 5-lane.
Well, it was mentioned that there might be some agreement of a 3-lane instead of a 5-lane. But wouldn't either one of them would have to be part of somebody's plan, right? We couldn't just do it without a plan.
Yes.
Correct.
We need that in the plan.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we have Member Trenier. Do you want to close since you're the chair of this? I'll let you close because I'm going to let Mr. Oxley and then I'll go to you. I'll let Mr. Ox, oh, no?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
You don't want to talk green now?
No, I enjoy this.
Thank you again. One of the things that we're looking at is at Reed School, which I'm familiar with, we're going to shorten the queening spaces for the bus parking, for the bus pickup. And I think we'll have the same at Hadley School. Bobby Noonan's, I don't know anything about, but we have to be cognizant of this. In the end result, Jeff, you're doing your job. You have to pre-plan out and all this, and I understand that. But the end result is, if this goes forward, all the people that are on the county board will get hung for it by the people in those districts. If it doesn't go forward, we'll be the heroes. But I'm not trying to be a hero here. I'm trying to do what's right. And we need to know exactly what we're looking at. And is there a compromise available? Maybe so. So that's where we need to go with it.
Before I close with you, I agree. I'm going to just kind of address Mr. Balaj. Like, I am more than willing to have conversations with anyone on this topic. I've had numerous sidebars. I've had numerous group projects. Again, that is not an issue. We can continue to have conversations on this, especially further discussions that we have had. I'm going to say personally, representing all the districts, I'm concerned when we remove things from a plan that has been long-term, that we are jeopardizing ourselves with our future for, you're right. I just said, I'm worried about jeopardizing our future plans moving forward. But I can assure you, whether or not this goes forward or not, we will continue to have conversation with people who are interested in talking about this road. So with that, we will let our chairperson,
I just wanted to say that my understanding, and Jeff, this is really a question for you, whether it's a 3-lane, with the turn lane, or a 5-lane, my understanding is we're taking almost as much land. Is that fair to say?
And most of the parcels, we will be hitting them for right away regardless. Maybe not as much, but we will still be hitting most of the properties.
That's what I thought. My other concern is that I think we would be creating a hardship if we did remove this from our plan, not only because we look wishy-washy ourselves, that we don't know what we're doing, we're going to create a problem going forward in the future with other grants that we apply for. People are going to be hesitant to give us money if we're not going to follow through on what we say we're going to do. But we also, by just removing this outright, if that gets publicized, and I'm sure that it would, you're going to be giving people false hope that we're just not going to do this because it's not in our plan. And I don't know necessarily that that's true. And the other thing regarding the traffic study and the concern that this is all just local traffic dropping their kids off on and off, I guess I would have to know when the study was done. I do know it makes at least according to some authorities, it makes a difference if you do the traffic study in July or August versus doing it during the school year. But again, without any evidence, that's just anecdotal comments, you know, oh, I think it was only people running their kids to school or a kid's activity at school. And we don't know that. I don't know how this traffic study was done, but ones that I'm familiar with usually go on for several days over a 24-hour period. And I guess it is best practice to do it during the school year. I don't know when this one was done, but I am definitely in support of keeping this in the plan. And I hope that my fellow board members will agree.
Do you want to, do you have,
I would
end
know
with
the
the-
dates of when they were actually taken other than the years. But when they do traffic counts, they use like seasonal adjustment factors. So they have formulas and things to figure out. If you take it in June, it's plus or minus this. And, you know, so they take those into account. But there's one other caution. If it is taken out of our transportation improvement plan, the federal dollars that are allocated for it rely on what we present. So if it's taken out of the plan,
We lose the
I
money.
do not know what they will do with that because they rely on the county's position on the project, whether they keep the money in there or not. So I'm just cautioning that as well, while all these other discussions are happening, what could happen there.
Okay.
Member Richmond?
The information I saw was done in December on a school day.
Correct. The one count that we took. IDOT, I don't know when IDOT
Yeah,
took their
I-
counts, and that's
yeah.
when they're posted on their website.
I mean, I just
Yeah,
wanted
are
to
those in
answer
Is that not
the information that I'd seen.
important? Member Berkowitz?
Thank you, Madam Executive. Jeff, 143rd in the plan, is it in the plan as a 5-lane project? Is it designated already 5 lanes? Or
It is. There's a description in the back of the plan. You can read on all our projects descriptions of what they are, and it is, yes.
Okay, I
multi-lane.
know I've read it, but I wasn't
There's a lot
sure
in there.
because there's so much conversation. So are we able to just amend that to a 3-lane? Can't we bring this forward and amend the 5-lane to a 3-lane?
Not,
In
we're,
the
yeah,
plan.
not at this point.
I'm
Well, that's
asking-
okay. I'm going to
I'm
answer because
asking.
we're just voting on whether or not to remove this right now. If we're going to talk about redesigning this road, it'd have to be a whole nother discussion.
Okay.
They're just talking about
So
removing the
it-
plan.
So my question is after this vote, can this plan be amended to a 3-lane widening? And that's a yes, it can be.
Well, we bring this forward to you in June every year. I'm sure it's your prerogative to amend the plan at any time. It's a plan.
Okay. So after this vote, then that would be the time to put that motion out there to bring it forward to change the 143rd scope of that project from a 5-lane to a 3-lane. Because I know you were here too. It took hours of your life, your day and time, days and evenings. I really admire your professionalism and everything you do, Jeff. I know this has been a lot of time for you, but I do remember hearing hundreds of people say that they were okay with a 3-lane. A 3-lane widening versus.
Do you have a
5-lane.
question? I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you.
So that's why
do you have a
I would
question?
like to proceed, then we vote on this and then bring it forward, then bring that motion forward.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we have a motion and a second to remove the 143rd portion of the transportation improvement plan from to remove it from the plan. I said that correctly. Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting to remove 143rd Street from the plan.
Richmond. Williams. Dean Schlotman. O'Gala. Butler. Newquist. Halich. Oxley. Brooks. Winfrey. Bullock. Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa. Trainier.
No.
Van Dyne.
No.
With 12 in the negative, the motion fails. So now we are going back to the original motion to approve the transportation improvement plan. So we had a motion, we have a second, we have a discussion on that, hold on a second, discussion on the plan. Mr. Butler.
I'd like to make a motion to refer back to the Public Works and Transportation Department,
Refer back what, sir?
the plan.
Oh, the plan, okay.
Second that.
Wait, hold on. Repeat what you just said, sir.
I would like to make a motion to refer this plan, the master plan for transportation, back to Public Works and Transportation
Committee?
Department.
I don't think we can make a motion to return anything to a department.
Well, doesn't, okay, committee.
Am I correct with that? Yeah, okay. Okay, so
And
we
that
have,
they would- and then I'm assuming that they would refer back to the department who made the plan.
so we have a motion now to refer the entire plan back to committee. We have a first motion, seconded by Revis. Discussion on going back to, go ahead, you can, going back to committee. Mr. Butler.
Yeah, so I read the plan and I understand that we do have to have a plan so that, we all understand what's coming up. But what I didn't see on the plan was as many details as I would like to see and where the priorities were. I would like to know, for instance, when we decide to put a road in here, is it going to be this year, next year? Have they taken into consideration all the costs? There were some costs that I think were not addressed in here. And I would just like to see much more detail. For instance, when they decide to widen a road with a pipeline next to it, what is the cost of relocating that pipeline? Are they even contacted? Or is that something where we decide to do it and we just figure, hey, we're the government. When we want to do something, we do it. And whatever the cost is, the taxpayers will burden that cost. Because that just seems the way a lot of times the thought process goes. So, I want to know, did the pipelines get notified? Did we get an estimate of cost of how much these pipelines will cost to move? Because we will have to pay for that.
Thank you. Member O'Gala on referring back. You're on.
So I would like to talk about that for an instance regarding the cost, and maybe Jeff can come up and answer a question that I have. My question is this: if there are two pipelines that are there and they have to be moved, can I ask that now? or-
Okay. I think we're getting
Jeff-
to, are you just, okay. Can you?
Dan just mentioned
Yeah,
it, so.
can you, I think what we're trying to find out is kind of the planning work. How much estimation do you do, instead of getting specifics into imaginary things? I think the general question is, when you're making a plan, how grand is the conversation with some of these specifics?
So my question would be about the pipelines specifically, because if there are pipelines there and they have to be moved for the project to proceed, and I don't know, maybe they'd have to be for the 3-lane too, I don't know, but if they have to move, I would assume, make the assumption, and I'm probably correct here because the pipeline route won't change, that they will move it from wherever it is in the easement that they have from the property owner to a distance closer on the property owner's property.
Right, so if there's a pipeline that's in conflict with the road improvements, it would have to move, but we avoid that with every possible opportunity we have, because that's very, very expensive. So oftentimes we'll see us slide our road a little bit to avoid that. But the crossings we can't avoid oftentimes, so we'll have to do some relocation for that. So those dollars, you don't know that when you pick a new road. You don't know the dollars of a pipeline relocation because you haven't talked to them yet. So the early part of the project is that you meet with the utilities, you understand where they're at, and that's part of the development of the design plans. That's part of the whole process, why road improvements take 5-10 years. So that's early on. So we can throw a high number in there. So if you see in the plan, something slated for construction in 2031, that's a pretty high estimate number, meaning it's not detailed. As we move through and get closer to where you see constructions 2026, those numbers are pretty solid. I mean, we're getting ready to let it, that we know what those are. So between that 0 time and the 5 or 10 year, we're talking those pipelines and understanding their costs. And as they come forward, there's a few things in the plan that shows utility costs. That's what those are. Well, there's NICOR pipeline, as those come out in the design. And unfortunately, that doesn't happen until we're probably halfway through the design because the utilities aren't even going to talk to us until we have design to show them to see if they're even in conflict. So it's a design, it's a iterative process that we have. So the numbers, if it's slated for 2031, those numbers are pretty high level. If they're slated for 2026, you know those are pretty well dialed in.
Member Berkowitz? Hold on. There you go. Hold on. I got the wrong person. I'm flipping around with everyone. There you go.
So I was going to make that motion, but we will have to vote on what Dan brought forward first, correct?
We have a motion to refer it back to Public Transportation Committee.
Okay, thank you.
So we have Mr. Butler, do you have one more follow-up regarding the motion to refer back? Yes? All right. I don't know if you're on, sir.
So I guess what I'd like added to this plan so that I could approve it is I just need more details. I need traffic patterns, the amount of numbers that go through there, and then other possible solutions rather than just widening roads, There's just a lot more that I would like to see. And then some sort of sense of priority. And so we get a better timeline of what roads are being taken care of and now and which ones are, left off.
Okay. Member Van Dyne, just remember, we're voting on referring it back to committee.
This
Member Van-
comment does refer
Okay.
to sending it back to committee. It was discussed 2 weeks ago, June 3rd, I believe. It came out of committee with one member voting against the plan. The other 6 were in favor. I'm not in favor of sending it back to committee. We've discussed this many times. I say we just go ahead and go along with the vote. And I want to remember the county board members that every year we do a 5-year plan. And Mr. Ronaldson has always asked county board members for their input. It's not set in stone. We do have another opportunity coming up soon to do the 27 to 32 plan. So sending it back to committee is not an option for me. I'd rather just move forward today. Thank you.
Member Freeman? He said what I was. Okay, very good. We're done. All right. So we have a motion. We have a second. You are now voting on bringing it back to committee, the Transportation Improvement Plan. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond. Williams. Dean Schlottman. O'Gala. Butler. Newquist. Balich. Oxley. Brooks. Winfrey. Bullock. Freeman. Revis. Mitchell. Ortiz. Berkowitz. Hickey. Costa. Trainier. Van Dyne.
In the Yeah, 11 in the affirmative, the motion passes. Yeah, so it is referred back to committee. No. Member Trinier to close up your committee.
Thank you, Madam Executive. So the next meeting is, and I've lost my agenda, we've been gone this topic for so long, July 1st. And Mr. Revis will have the privilege of chairing that meeting as I will be out of town. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to public health and public safety. Member Butler, Chair Butler.
Yep, we have nothing to move forward. Next meeting, July 3rd.
Thank you. Moving on to Legislative Committee, Member Ortiz.
Thank you, Madam Executive. We also have nothing to bring forward, but I do urge all members to please take a look at the 2026 federal agenda, our legislative agenda that was sent over by our lobbyists. And our next meeting is scheduled for July 1st, 2025, where Vice Chair O'Gala will be chairing our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Member or Chair Freeman, our capital improvement.
Thank you. We have nothing to bring forward. I do request again that if anyone has any questions regarding capital improvements or IT, to please let us know in advance. Our next meeting is scheduled for July 1st. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair Dean Schlottman, landfill.
There is nothing to bring forward at this time. Several members of the landfill committee went on a tour of the landfill this month. And again, if there is anyone who ever would like to take a tour of the landfill, that's always something that we can try to put together for them. And so our next meeting is July 8th, right here in the county building.
Thank you. Speaker Van Dyne, Executive Committee.
Thank you and good morning, Madam Executive. We do have 12 items that are listed under the consent agenda. However, I would like to make a motion to remove number 1 and discuss that at the very end.
You don't have to vote on
Okay.
that. You just were removing one.
Fair
so
enough.
just read.
I'll read off 2 through 12
Do that.
on our consent agenda.
Thank you. Sorry. I know.
Resolution 2025-179, supporting the continued operation of the River Valley Detention Center. 25-180, designating staff, Open Meetings Act and Freedom of Information Act officers for the county board. An ordinance amending the designating ordinance to Des Plaines River Valley Enterprise Zone. Amendments to the Des Plaines River Valley Enterprise Zone intergovernmental agreement. Authorizing the Will County Executive to renew the Will County One-Stop Operator Agreement. Authorizing the county executive to renew a contract with JJC Workforce Development. Authorizing the county executive to renew a contract with JJC Workforce Development for the Work Readiness Program. Also, we have 4 ordinances of amending the Will County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 34, 35, 36, and 38 under the consent agenda, and I will make that motion.
Motion by Van Dyne, seconded by O'Gala. Any discussion? I think we need a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond? Williams? Dean Schlottman? O'Gala? Butler? Butler, oh. Okay. Newquist? Balich? Roxley? Brooks? Okay. Winfrey? Yes. Bullock? Freeman? Revis? Mitchell? Ortiz? Berkowitz? Hickey? Costa? Trainier? Van Dyne.
Yes.
$18 in the affirmative, the motion carries.
Thank you. I would like to make a motion to Put on the floor, Resolution 2025-178, authorizing approval of the form of contract for acquisition by the county of certain parcels of real property situated along Governor's Highway and Hellman subdivision in the Village of Monee.
Motion by Van Dyne, seconded by Winfrey. Is there any discussion? Member Oxley.
Yes, I would request that this be put back to committee. We've asked for several things in committee, as such as a survey of the property to see how much vacant property there still is on this parcel that we have now where the current building is, to see if we could put an addition on one of the buildings or another building at the north end of it. We have not received this information. Now it comes before us to buy the property to build another building, which is estimated at $15 or $17 million. I think it should come back to committee and get the proper information, to survey the property, how much vacant land we have there. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any other? All right, Madam Clerk? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Member Butler? No? Okay. Think we are good. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond? Williams? Yes. Jean Schlottman? Ogala? Butler? Newquist?
Yes, yeah. Mhm. No,
No.
we're approving this project.
Alich?
He did.
Oxley?
No, he didn't.
We have a motion and a second on the acquisition of real property in Monee. He did not make a motion. Yeah. Yes. He made a statement. Too late. We already started the roll call. Madam Clerk, please continue.
Okay, Oxley? Brooks? Winfrey? Bullock? Oh. No? Freeman? Revitz? Mitchell? Ortiz? Berkowitz? Hickey? Costa? Trainier? Van Dyne?
Yes.
I'll change my vote. I thought he did motion.
If it's acceptable, can we just take a new roll?
Motion is to the acquisition of real property in Monee is what it's written on the agenda. Item number 170, 2025-178, 25-178. Number one on your agenda. Okay, we're going to do this again.
Richmond? Williams? Yes. Dean Schlottman? Ogala? Butler? Newquist? Alich? Oxley? Brooks?
Yeah.
Winfrey? Bullock? Freeman? Revis? Mitchell? Ortiz? Berkowitz? Hickey? Costa? Trainier? Van Dyne?
Yes.
With 11 in the affirmative, the motion carries.
Moving on to appointments by the county executive, just a side note, it's been stated a few times, but just a reminder. Let me put it on the floor. 25-190, approving appointment by county executive for Lockport Cemetery Association, and I so move.
Motion by Van Dyne, seconded by Freeman.
Madam Executive, it was explained to me that there was 4 names submitted and the cemetery would like to reorganize their association. So they pulled 2 names back and only wanted to provide 2 at this meeting. That is the reason for the reduction of names. So I made the motion to approve.
Is Mr. Oxley?
Yes, thank you. This is in my district and Sherry's as well. It's a bit confusing because originally there was 2 members that don't show up to the meetings. They wanted to do robocall, not robo, I'm sorry.
Remote.
Yes, that. And then they were late coming onto that. They've had a problem in the past with not having enough people to have a quorum at the meetings. And so my thought was to remove the 2 people that weren't showing up and appoint 2 new people. Now it comes out that the mayor and the city administrator want to reduce the size of the board. Well, if we don't have a quorum of people with the ones they have, if we add the people, we'll have more people. So I will be a yes on the 2 appointments forward, but a no in the next conversation of this.
I don't know if we're.
That's going to be in July.
Yeah, that's not going to, we're just voting on the actual people
Actually,
today.
yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'll be a yes on this. I fully support the gentleman. And
Okay,
done.
very good. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? I don't think we have a clean roll. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond? Williams? Dean Schlottman? O'Gala? Butler? Newquist? Balich? Oxley? Brooks? Winfrey? Pollock? Freeman? Revis? Mitchell? Ortiz? Berkowitz? Hickey? Costa? Trainier? Van Dyne?
Yes.
20 in the affirmative, the motion carries.
Resolution 25-191, approving appointments by the county executive for Metro Commuter Rail Board, Brian Shanahan, and I so move.
Motion by Van Dyne, seconded by Hickey. Any discussion? Previous roll call by Newquist, seconded by O'Gala. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes the executive committee's report. Thank you.
All right, we are now moving on to public comment relevant to matters under the jurisdiction of the county. If you are here for any general public comment, please come forward now. Going once, going twice. All right, we're going to move on to comments by the board members. Anyone like to speak? We'll start with Member Revis.
I just want to throw a thought out there for operational sake. It seems like we have a lot of issues that continually make their way into our discussion at full county board meetings. Maybe for me, what I would like to see is some of these issues that matter to individual board members. We come together and put a small little agenda forward for like a committee of the whole or a special meeting of the sort to kind of address some of these lingering issues that continue to come up, whether it's through adjacent agenda items or just in regular discussion. And then, we can find like a little bit of a resolution. Like, for example, just to give credit, I put together a resolution recently for the capital improvements and IT committee. And, I'm not sure where that stands. That was a couple months ago, but, that's a fresh idea that we can get on an agenda. And I know a lot of people have different ideas that they want to see make its way into a county board meeting. So just that would be my thought, maybe to the speaker, Madam Executive, maybe we could put together like a committee of the whole meeting to address some of these lingering issues. Thank you.
Member Oxley.
Yes, at the June meeting or the May meeting, we discussed and voted on an ordinance pertaining to bid process. At our caucus meeting, we were told it was going to be pulled off. Don't worry about it. And then it was put in front of us that day for a vote. And the comment was that, there were some changes we would introduce to make changes to the statement, the ordinance. and it was said that it would be brought up in the June meeting, and it's not on the agenda. So it's, in my mind, it's discriminatory. We've provided what we'd like to see as far as verbiage, but now we're not discussing it.
And I'll let Joe respond to that, but I think it was when we removed the local ordinance piece. But Joe, I'll let you respond to that one. If I recall correctly.
I guess, I guess I'm unclear of the request. My understanding was there was a two-part process. One was the responsible bidder ordinance. The second dealt with the local preference. And I do know there was comments on both of those issues. The responsible bidder ordinance did pass, and it was stated, I believe by myself, that we would come back and visit the local ordinance preference because there was some ideas about distances and that. Since then, I had told leadership the night before the caucus meeting that it was brought up, and I don't think that that discussion was ready to take place yet because it wasn't figured out. And as of late, I believe between the attorneys sitting at the front of the room, I don't even know if that's a possibility. That's something we can address. So give me another chance to revisit that. And if it's something that we can proceed with, I will definitely bring it to a meeting as soon as possible. But that's the way I understood the conversation.
Thank you. Yes. The question and comments, Joe, were, and I don't have the items in front of me, there was two items that strictly would prohibit and make small business, minority business, women-owned, veteran-owned construction businesses exempt from bidding anything in the county.
Oh, no.
And the one is the fact that they must have a Department of, I think, Labor 4-year apprenticeship program in effect, and each employee would have to go through that. Well, those businesses that I mentioned do not have the opportunity to have that. It's only union companies that have that opportunity because they have their training facilities and they're included. That's why we wanted to request in there that these two paragraphs, I think it was K and J, do not apply if the bid is under $75,000 or something of that nature. And then as far as the area, the original proposal was a 50-mile radius. Well, we'd have everybody from Chicago and Indiana working here. But that was brought to the attention of Will County contractors. So it's a compromise between small businesses and all the union-owned companies because the small businesses can't bid on these projects. That was the point of the questions and comments.
Yeah. All right. Who else? Member Bullock.
Hi, everyone. I am part of the Land Use Committee, which is a multifaceted, really difficult committee. And I would like to encourage you to come to that committee meeting. It is run very much like an open hearing. It's not an open hearing, but everyone has the opportunity to talk, explain their situation. We have the opportunity to ask questions. And because there is no way you can roll in to a Thursday morning board meeting and be ready to talk about land use. It is just, there's just too many pieces to it. I don't know how quickly our video gets posted after that meeting is over. If you're able to watch that, I mean, yes, they are long meetings. I understand that. But the things that we are voting on are multifaceted. You need more than one look, more than one listen. I don't miss land use meetings because I would be lost in the weeds. Thanks.
Member Trenier.
Thank you, Madam Executive. I just wanted to echo what Board Member Bullock said, but I also wanted to follow up. I know that you were, I believe, had said that you were going to try to get the PZC meetings on WebEx so that we could view them on YouTube. There was conversation last month about that. I did speak to somebody in the land use department, and they sounded like they were kind of unaware of our wish or need to have that. I definitely want it. I'm just want to echo that one more time. Maybe that'll speed it up, figure it out, or just tell me, no, it's not going to happen.
No, I mean, that's not going to happen. I'll talk to the land use committee. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yeah, I think we just have to get somebody from IT. I mean, they set up the land use committee WebExes.
Mhm.
I assume that
and
land
I-
use attends the PZC meetings.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like it would be that difficult. They do it in this room, just like we do. All they have to do is put the link there and it automatically records. And then all they have to do the next day is post it on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't think that's any controversy. I just think it is not been gotten to yet. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I just want to say it one more
Yep.
time. Thank you.
All right, happy Flag Day. Member Freeman.
So I'm sitting here and I thought I just need to say this. I do know that sometimes board members bring things forward and they want a discussion. It is up to the speaker to make that ultimate decision as to if it becomes reality or not. And sometimes it can take years, sometimes it can take months, sometimes it takes just one time saying, hey. So if you have something and you've requested it, there is maybe a reason that it isn't there. And no pressure on Joe, but he's our speaker, you can ask. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Ogala.
Thank you. I just wanted to say happy Father's Day to all the men out there. It was last weekend. And I hope everyone had a good barbecue or time together with their family. And thanks for being great dads.
All right. Before we go on, but I wish Mr. Butler was here. I do want to, before we move on to the leaders speaking, I do want to make note that I've had conversations with leadership as well as board members who are very concerned regarding the discussion time. So I've been asked to be more aggressive when enforcing the rules regarding discussion. And so I believe our county board staff is going to help because sometimes I get stretched too with putting a clock up on the screen. So, kind of, you can self-check yourself. And if you get too long, we can kind of refer back. The rules say you get 3 minutes. Then if you're going to talk for a second time, it's 2 minutes. And again, it will help us get a little more concise with what we're asking and be more prepared. So we're hoping that will happen in the next month. So just so people are aware, and now we will move on to leadership and we'll start with Mr. Richmond. Do you have any?
No, I'm.
Okay, sorry. I thought you had.
I did, but then I
You
reconsidered.
decided, all right. And Member Williams.
Just like to wish everybody a happy Juneteenth. And if you don't have anything to do tomorrow, if you want to come up to the AF Hill Park, Lockport Township is having a really good celebration. Thank you.
And then Speaker.
Thank you. I did hear a couple comments from some of the board members regarding, the time limit and some of the questioning. And I'm afraid that we're starting to develop a habit of sending things back to committee. And I kind of want to try to avoid that for the simple fact that, our agenda does come out 48 hours before the committee. As board members, we're expected to be prepared whether you're on that committee or not. If there are questions, you have the opportunity to come to the meeting. If you don't, which a lot of us don't have time or can't come to meetings that we're not on the committee, but we also have staff, Madam Executive, you have a staff that are always willing to answer personal questions, and maybe some of the questions, most of the board members are comfortable with the packet. But if you feel that you need more information as an individual, please reach out to the director or however channel you decide to do that and get your answers. So maybe we can be more efficient and streamline our meetings and be prepared. Some of our packets can be lengthy, but that's the job that we signed up for. So I would just like everybody to maybe self-reflect and try to get a little bit more prepared. And I think we're moving in a pretty good direction here. So that's my comment for today. And I know we have a lengthy executive session, so I will shut up. So with that being said, I would like to make a motion to go in executive session for the many purposes.
To discuss
pending litigation
collective bargaining.
and collective
We
bargaining.
have a motion to go into executive session by Member Van Dyne, seconded by Dean Schlotman. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Richmond, Williams, Dean Schlotman, Ogala, Butler, Newquist, Balich, Oxley, Brooks, Winfrey, Bullock, Freeman, Revis, Mitchell, Ortiz, Berkowitz, Hickey, Costa, Trainier, Van Dyne.